Good evening, everyone. In the previous lecture, I explained you how the male and female gametes are formed. In this video, I'll explain you how the male gamete and female gamete pollinate. What happened actually? We know that both the male gametes and female gametes are non-motile. Fertilization can occur only when the two are brought together, and this is done by the process of pollination. Now, how this pollination take place? Pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Clear, everyone? It's a transfer of pollen from anther to stigma. This process is known as the pollination. Pollination is classified into two categories. One is the self-pollination and cross-pollination. First of all, I'll explain you what do you mean by self-pollination. Self-pollination is mainly two types. Further, it classified into two categories. One is the autogamy, and autogamy it's a self-pollination which occur between the anther and stigma of same flower. It occur in all those intersexular or perfect flowers which either remain closed or where anther pollen come in contact with stigma by gravity and mechanical means. Autogamy further classified into two categories. First one is the homogamy. In homogamy, flowers are open, both anther and stigma close together, and they mature simultaneously with synchrony in the pollen release and stigma receptivity. The pollen falls down due to the gravity over the surface of stigma. The example is convolvulus. And as the style grows, the stigma come in contact with the ripe anther and receive the pollen grain. And in liliac family, the style doesn't grow and stigma remain below the level of anther. As the anther dehiscent, the pollen falls down into the gravity over the surface of stigma. Second one is the type of autogamy is clastogamy. Clastogamy, in which the flowers remain closed with the anther and stigma lying close to each other. When the anthers dehiscence, the pollen grains come in contact with stigma and pollination take place. There is no chance of cross pollination landing on the stigma. The example of balsam, common pansy, it shows the clastogamy type of pollination. Now come to the second type of the self-pollination, that is geitonogamy. This one is the type of self-pollination. In this, the transfer of pollen grains from anther of one flower to stigma of another flower of either the same and genetically similar plant. Pollen grains, same plant or genetically similar plant. Example is cucurbita. Now come to the second type of the pollination, that is cross pollination. Cross pollination or xenogamy. It's a transfer of pollen from anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower belonging to genetically different plant. Cross pollination, it is also known as xenogamy, and both xeno and xenogamy are included under allogamy. So many authors consider allogamy as a synonym of xenogamy. Cross pollination can occur only with the help of external agent called pollinating agent. Now come to the types of cross pollination. These are also known as the adaptation in flower for the pollination. Now, types of cross pollination. Its first type is anemophily. It's a mode of cross pollination performed through the agency of wind. So, it's a type of cross pollination in which the pollination takes place through the wind, and the pollen characters it may be possess like a pollen grain. If we discuss about the characters of the pollen grain, its weight is light, non-sticky, and winged pollen grains are present. Anthers are well exposed, so that's why it is easily transferred by the wind. Now come to the stigma. Stigma is a large and feathery. Flowers are one ovule. In the flowers of anemophily, only single ovule is present and arranged in a inflorescence. Examples are corncob, cotton, and date palm. Second type is hydrophily. Hydrophily, it's a type of pollination that brought about through the agency of water. It mainly occur about 30 genera of mostly monocotyledon aquatic plants. Example is Lamna, Vallisneria, Geostera. Many aquatic plants use other mode of pollination like water hyacinth and water lily because water is not a good transport medium for pollen grains. They emerge out of water and are pollinated by the wind and insect. Many workers believe that the distribution of bryophytes and pteridophytes is limited because of the dependence of their sperm on water for transport. Now come to the characteristics of the hydrophily. First of all, we discuss about the pollen grains. Pollen grains are protected by the mucilaginous covering. Its weight is very light, so that's why it can be easily moved from one place to another. Its stigma, it's a long and sticky. Flowers small, inconspicuous and light. Examples, as I already explained you, bryophyte, pteridophytes and algae. The third type of cross pollination is entomophily. It is a transfer of pollen grain from anther of the one flower to the stigma of another flower with the help of insects like moths, bees, butterfly, ants, etc. And what about the characters? Characters, if we discuss, the pollen grains are covered with a yellow sticky substance that is known as the pollen kit. These are spiny and heavy. Stigma is sticky. Flower is large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. The example of entomophily is Calotropis, fig, and yucca. Now the next type is ornithophily. Ornithophily is a cross pollination that is performed through the agency of birds. Pollinating birds have a long beak larger than the length of corolla tube. Two specialized type of pollinating birds of tropic are sunbirds and hummingbirds. Sunbirds are found in the Afro-Asian region. They rest over the flower-bearing shoot while visiting the flower. Second one is the hummingbirds that occur in the American continent. They do not sit over the flowers or their sporting shoot, but instead hover over the flower. A few birds of larger size also perform ornithophily. Example, myna, parrot, bulbul, crow. Some common ornithophilous plants are Tachymeria, honeysuckle, it is also known as honeysuckle, and Grevillea, that is known as the silver oak. Now come to the characteristics of the ornithophilous flowers. Flowers are large, bright color, and it possess mainly nectar. And anthers, these are strong and leathery. Now come to the next one is the Chiropterophily. This one is a type of cross pollination that is performed through a agency of bats. Bats perform pollination during night as they are nocturnal in habit. They visit flower for nectar. In the process, they carry pollen grain from one flower and deposit the same over the stigma of another flower. Because this one is a type of cross pollination, so that's why it transfer from the another flower. And the distance traveled by the pollinating bat may be 30 kilometer or more. It transfer the one pollen to another flower within the range of 30 kilometer or more. Some common Chiropterophilous plants are kadam, boyabed tree, and succes tree. These are the example in which the Chiropterophily type of pollination occurs. Now come to the significance of or importance of self-pollination. Self-pollination, it's an advantage. It's a sure and economical method of pollination. It's employed as a fail-safe device. It produces homozygous progeny. Self-pollination is used to maintain pure line. It maintains superiority of the race definitely. The plants need not produce large number of pollen glands. Flowers do not develop attractant for favoring external agencies. Now come to the advantages of cross pollination. It overcomes self-sterility and promote prepotency found in many economically important plants. Yields always remain above as average minimum. It eliminates defective trait. It introduces a number of alleles. Cross-pollination introduces variation due to the genetic recombination. Now the question arises, which one is the better, self-pollination or cross-pollination? According to our views, cross-pollination is better. The reason in nature cross pollination is preferred over self pollination. It keeps variability of the race. It makes offspring adaptable to change in environment. Production of better offspring due to the phenomena of hybrid vigor. It doesn't allow harmful and lethal recessive alleles to become homozygous. That's it.